Well, I've got this stripped apart, the jets all seem clear. I'm going to blow some carb cleaner through it. The bowl didn't have any sediment in it. I'm now suspecting that I might have a fuel flow problem from the tank. It could be that I've got some debris in the tank that's stopping the flow. I might have to strip that down and have a look at it, but I'll blow this all through with carb cleaner and reassemble it, get it back on, see where we go from there. Okay, that's the jets back in, and the gasket, there's a slight tear on the outer side here, but I think it will be okay. It's going to give me the seal that I need to get away with for now. I haven't got a spare at the moment. I need to get one on order. Always fine with these gaskets though. They're not die cut properly. They don't fit. I don't know whether there is a manufacturers that actually do properly fit. I find I have to cut them out with a craft knife to get them to go around all these jets and holes. They just don't fit perfectly, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, let's get it back together, see what happens. Right, so that's the top cover bolts removed. Look, nice little place to put them there out the way. And we'll get this off. I need to get this off gently because what I don't want to do, I don't want to have to replace the gasket unnecessarily. So it's more checking the jets in here than anything else, and the fuel flow. So let's have a look, see what we've got. I'm going to quickly whip out this jet here, which is where the fuel comes in. This is the fuel shut-off that the float pops up and hits. So I'm just going to take that out and just make sure we've got no blockages in there, and that's all is clear within there. And also might blow through inside this part as well when I can. So I took the fuel bowl off. Obviously there's a bit of sediment at the bottom of that, not too bad. I must admit, where the fuel comes out of the tank, I did find a big sort of bit of crud stuck in one of the outlets, so it could be that was halving the fuel flow coming through. So I'm going to clean this all out, put it all back together and see if that's cured the problem. It might need the tank taking off and a good flush out. I've got a feeling I might need to replace the tank. It's looking very rusty inside and out. I'll have a look. It's going to slow me down in removing the filter. The rubber disintegrated on me. Anyway, cleaned that out. I'm going to have a look, see if I've got another one. I got a feeling I haven't, so I'll have to get one on order. Unfortunately, I didn't have another rubber seal for the fuel bowl, so I've had to order one of those, which won't be in for 3 days, which is going to slow down my progression. Never mind, have to wait until that arrives. For some months I've been I've been noting a fuel leak, and I couldn't find out where it's coming from, and now with it all turned off and the bowl off, I can see, you can see it in here. I might zoom in a bit better. It's all so damp around that joint, so I'm going to have to take that off. I'll flush the tank out at the same time. The trouble is, it looks like it's coming from almost above rather than out through the thread, which is a bit of a worry. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, it's just sort of dripped down, just saw a big drop fall then, so it's literally dropping out all the time. I guess it's just take it apart, see if we can seal it up and see if it fixes it, or get a new tank. Don't really want to have to get a new tank. Right, so now I've whipped all the bolts out and the top mounts off the tank, just in the process of taking off the fuel pipe, and I noticed this. Basically it's loose, so that is why we've got a leak. That is not a tight fit in there. It's going to need properly sealing up this time, so we'll take it off and have a look, see what's going on. Right, so tank's off, and look, basically we've got I think I put some PTFE tape on that when I first put it in. I don't think it's fuel resistant. I think that's the issue that I've got. It's disappeared, so it was just coming out through that, so I probably need to there's a bit of dirt in there as well. No wonder I've got flow issues. Let's have a look. Let's clean this tank out and see what we get to. So the fuel in the tank's not really in bad shape. I mean, I was expecting a lot more coming out of there in the way of dirt. There's a bit of residue at the bottom, but no more than you'd probably expect in a tank like it. So that's only come out because I've been slushing it around. So I don't think there's a problem on the internals of the tank. But looking at the externals, I really need to give it a bit of a clean up and see if I can get some anti-rust, some rust stopper on it or something like that. I really should paint the whole thing up, but I'm not sure I can be bothered at this stage. I might do it as a later job. Right, so I've given it a quick degrease, washed it all off. Trying to decide what to do really. I didn't really want to have to go into a complete tank rub down and respray job, but I don't know. I've got to get that rust stopped at least and get something on it, like some red oxide or something else. I don't know. Not sure if you can see, well, you know, you can see that, but there's a big bit of crud stuck in the fuel bowl in the inlet, so I'm just going to try and dig it out. That's definitely going to be something to do with my fuel starvation problems. Took some getting to, got me welder's tip things here, and let's have a look at it. God, it's bloody huge. How's that got stuck in this? Look, I don't know what it is. But that was blocked in there, so that's not going to help, is it? Right, so I've decided to get someone else to do it. I will not make a nice enough job of that. I will not be pleased with what I've done, even if I do it with Hammerite. So I'm going to give it to someone who I know, who knows what he's doing. Fuel tank's gone off for repair. That leaking fuel has made a bit of a mess at the top of the rocket cover there. I'm not sure at the moment I can really be bothered to start work on that, so I think I'm going to maybe give it a wire brush off and leave it. But right now, first job really is still waiting for the petrol tank to come back, is get the carburetor done, reinstalled. So now I've done a mini refurb on it. That's all ready to go back on, so we'll get that fitted in position and await the tank coming back, which is due back in a couple of days' time. Always the most awkward part of this, getting the choke line on, but I've done that now and got a split pin through that, so that's done. Now we've got it resting up here. We've got to put the front attachment onto the governor. The other interesting thing is here is you've got to get this in the right order. So that right hand stud there, you've got to let the carburetor down before you can put that one on and ease it up first before you do the left hand one. Otherwise, if you tighten up the left hand one first, there's no gap underneath it to get the nut on, so you just have to work at this stage by stage. So that's the right hand nut on and finger tight, just the left one to do. Make sure we've got enough clearance for the governor to go up there and fit on, which we have. Look, there we go, fitting on up there now. So I'll just get that tapped in first, but let's get this other nut on first. So that's the car back on, fuel line's on, tightened up, hose onto the air filter there, everything's taut, looking good. I've lubricated all the linkage for the throttle, made sure that's all running and working and pushing back, which it is. So all good with that. Just got to get that fuel tank in and fire her up. We'll do that in a couple of days. Here we are, 2 days later, and this is what we've ended up with. A beautiful looking fuel tank. It's a brass cap, could do with a polish up maybe, but looking absolutely fantastic. Right, time for a bit of reassembly, but this time we're going to use some PTFE tape on this before we pop it in. And here we have our threaded insert and bottom, so just get this wrapped up and fitted, and hopefully this time no leaks, as I'm going to use PTFE tape, which I didn't use last time. Right, so that's it nicely taped up with PTFE tape. Now let's insert it and see how we get on. Right, so get it in there. So it's 3 quarters. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Should get this right way around and into position. That's it there. There we go. Perfect. That'll do nicely. Shouldn't have any leaks from that. Nice firm fit. Right, now we've got this nice fine gauze filter to go on there. That just sits in there nicely like that. We've got our new rubber seal, which fits in perfectly. Our original glass bowl to go back on there with the fitting, which I'll go and get now. So this then, don't drop it, it's on either side like that. There's a couple of little slots on there for that. That pushes over here, but our key bit being our nut fits through the middle of that cam there. That then comes to silicone out a bit more. Back into position there and there. It comes over the top there, and then we just screw that down until it's nice, with a nice seal created there. that's that all sorted. Next thing, get it fitted to the tractor, and then we should be ready to fire things up again. Right, that's it offered up in position. That's looking smart, isn't it? Just got to get it bolted in now. Put new captive nuts in that side. Got some new bolts to go in here. Connect it up and give it a whirl. Might give it a quick degrease before I put it all on though. Could do with just getting some of that muck from the old fuel off it. But getting there. We're getting there slowly. Before I put the fuel tank on, I've decided to give it a bit of a degrease. I might give this a rub down as well, though. I'm going to take that off and paint that another day. So I'm just giving the whole thing a good soaking with just a degreaser and water mixture. Let it soak for a few minutes, and then give it just really what a difference this degreaser makes. I mean, I'm just using it's only a cheap sort of screw fix degreaser, but look at this. As I just flush it all off here, look, everything just sort of, dirt just runs off. I'll come back after so that's it. As I said, it wasn't aiming to be a complete sort of steam clean of it all. It was just a blow off of the worst of the dirt and oil and grease, and it's come off. So yeah, I think that's fine for now, and get that tank on now and see if we can get her fired up. Looking good. So I was just putting the tank back on, but the captive nuts that were inside this little channel here, this one wasn't the same thread as the bolts I've got, so I was sort of cross-threading it in. So what I've done now is I've changed them both for the same threaded bolt, and really fit in there that well, as you can see from that one. But once it's in and locked up, it'll be fine, so it'll do the job nicely. Okay, just run through a few checks now. So there's the fuel bowl on and secured, tightened up, union's done. The bolts around there, I had to replace the washers. They were too small, they were going through the cavity, so I put some larger washers on those. Refitted the top bolts back on. Batteries back in, powered up, keys in it. Just need to put some fuel in and then give it a fire up. Right, that's the fuel in. Fuel bowl's full. Oh, look at a tiny leak out of that tap now. Let's just try and turn it on all the way. Might have to get that out and have a look at that, see what's going on with that. And looking at that, we've got a flow out of there, so that's great. All looking good so far. So everything's done, pristine. Ready. Ignition on, throttle open, just a little touch. Cleaned fuel bowl, and here we go. Let's see, it should go first turn. There she blows.